on Corey's jacket.
Yeah, the one guy has like a little yellow
bugs
pin.
Me that it's that prominent and it does nothing.
It does nothing. We don't know what it's for. We don't know anything about these other trainers, even their names.
We only know their names because I looked them up.
Because you looked them up. The only things, literally, the only things that we know about these other three trainers is what Pokemon they have and the nicknames they gave the starters.
Shell Shocker and Brute Root.
Brute Root.
Brute Root's a good nickname.
Brute Root is a good nickname. Although throughout most of the movie, I kept hearing like Root Root, Root Root,
Root Root,
Root Root.
I mean, Root Root's a good nickname.
Root Root's a good nickname. I like Brute Root.
Shell Shocker's a little insensitive, but it's a good nickname as well.
And Ash is like, he may not have a nickname, but I have Charizard.
Why didn't you send that out when I told you to send out all your Pokemon? I thought you only meant the popular ones. Yeah, that's why I only sent out Vulpix. Oh, God.
And it's just like, well, I only have one Pokemon. It's Pikachu. That's the only Pokemon I have. You just sent out Charizard. Yeah.
But Pikachu.
But Pikachu, right? Yeah.
No, wait. You know why Ash didn't send out Pidgeotto? It's because then they would have had the Pidgeotto with the much bigger and grander looking Pidgeotto. And it would have been way too confusing.
That's true.
For the parents who are like, wait, but I thought Pokemon were supposed to change their names when they evolved. And that's clearly an evolution of the other.
Also, he didn't send out Pidgeotto because Pidgeotto is so goddamn weak.
It's lost. Its record, I think, is 0%.
I'm pretty sure. I'm actually. I know it is. It's at 0%. It has never won a battle.
It would have won against Misty if it wasn't interrupted.
No, because it was Butterfree that was beating.
Oh,
not Pidgeotto. I think Pidgeotto might have beat Staryu. Don't quote me on that, but I think it might have beat Staryu.
But not Starmie.
But not Starmie. Oh god, no! That thing would have killed Pidgeotto. Pidgeotto's on like, if this is the Dragon Ball universe, and Mewtwo's Frieza, and all the other Pokemon are like Goku and Dragon Ball, Pidgeotto is like Poir. Pidgeotto is Poir.
Oh wow! By the way, guys, in case you didn't know us, we're also Dragon Ball fans.
We are.
Would that make Ash Yamcha then?
Well, that would make Ash essentially like the gi that they wear.
Ash is the gi, not... He's not a character.
He's not a character, he's just the gi.
Actually, yeah, it makes sense, yeah, because then he's the trainer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll buy that.
Yeah.
He's the Kame house.
He's the Kame. Mewtwo's like, alright, if you guys want to fight me, I got my own star Pokemon. I got a Charizard and a Venusaur and a Blastoise. So we'll go out into our arena here, and we'll have a little battle.
Oh, by the way, Team Rocket saw them being birthed outside of the robot vaginas.
It's totally what it looked like.
Yeah.
The was crowning.
Gross. So then they start battling, and they almost go in Pokedex order.
Venusaur versus Venusaur first.
And then Blastoise versus Blastoise, and
Clones
Charizard versus...
whoop them. Yeah, and then the Charizard fight is probably, kind of sadly, the best, like, fight in the whole movie.
Yeah, because, like, the other two are taken out in one hit. Like,
yeah.
The Razor Leafs are knocked out, and then Vine Whipped thrown across, and then the Blastoise just rapid spinned into a wall.
Yeah. And then the Charizard and the clone Charizard actually have a pretty decent fight.
Like,
up
they
in the
fly
air,
and fire,
like in front of the moon and everything.
each other, and then seismic toss.
But
to the ground. What should have happened is that the clone Charizard should have seismic tossed him, flown around, and then released a fire blast.
Yeah.
That would have been so awesome.
Yeah, as like a finisher move.
But now
yeah,
he just does a little fly and looks, and he's like, did I do it? Did it. Yeah.
And Charizard is like, I'm down. Ash is like, are you okay, Charizard? Charizard's like,
no, I'm not.
Do you see my tongue hanging out of my mouth?
My flame is the smallest it's been since I was a Charmander.
I'm almost dead, Ash. You idiot. This is why I don't listen to you. You're an idiot.
So then Mewtwo, having won the 3 big battles, and says, as if it was clearly already agreed upon, now that I've won, I will take your Pokemon. Like, you can't just say that. You have to say in the invite, by the way, we're going to have a battle. If you lose, I have the right to take your Pokemon. Do you agree? Yes or no? And then most people would probably say no.
No.
But then
I
the
think I
elite
say
would
no.
win.
Yeah. I would be like, okay, yes, I agree, but I'm not going to take my best Pokemon with me, just in case.
I'm going to take, like, my B team.
I'm going to take my B team, the ones that, like, I'll be kind of mad if they get stolen, but, like...
But, like, I have their parents.
Okay.
I can breed them
breed
again. I want to see, like, competitive trainers versus Mewtwo.
Right? Mewtwo's like, I got Shadow Ball, and they're like, okay.
I got a Darkrai.
Yeah, I got a Darkrai, man. Like,
sorry.
Go to sleep.
Go to sleep. Oh, Amber! Amber!
Yes, Darkrai. Use Nightmare. So Mewtwo sends out all these are semi-famous little, like...
Shadow balls.
Shadow Pokeballs.
By the way, if you say that they are the best Pokeballs, you're a liar and you don't know what the you're talking about, because they are non-canon and, like, you can't use them in the games at all. They don't exist. So stop saying they're Pokeballs. They're not. It's a dumb bullshit trick when you say they are. When you say the list of top Pokeballs. No. Master Ball. That's the only one that should be number one.
But they fly around and they, like, go to the Pokemon and they...
And just laser beam
them and capture them. And all of the trainers, this drove me nuts when I watched this yesterday.
They're all running around.
They're all running around, like,
in a
swatting
panic.
them away. Like, oh no, stay behind me, Alakazam. Stay behind me, Nidoqueen.
And it all fails.
And they all fail. Ash is the first one who's like, oh, maybe I should recall them into their Pokeballs. Like, duh.
Which under normal circumstances would work, but no, these are Mewtwo bullshit balls.
Yeah, the Mewtwo bullshit balls are able to suck in the Pokeballs too, weirdly.
So, like, yeah, all of Ash's Pokemon except Pidgeotto, and only one of Brock's Pokemon are captured.
Yeah, and only one of Misty's.
Yeah, only one of
never
Misty's.
catches Togepi.
Oh yeah, Togepi, like, goes into the bag and then is not seen from until the very end of the movie.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
Poor Togepi is, like, smothering in there.
Just stays in the bag.
Although it would have been so funny to watch, like, a clone Togepi fight Togepi.
That would have been like a baby versus baby.
Yeah, it would have been hilarious. Like, smacking each other like, ee, 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 ee.
They use metronome and each other up. They explode.
So all the Pokemon get captured, including the ones that Ash called into his Pokeballs. Pikachu's the last one. He's, like, running around. This was, like, I think my favorite scene in the whole movie, when Pikachu's, like, evading the balls, and he's, like,
trying to,
out,
like, desperately run away.
Yeah, and sending out, like, his little electric... We got interrupted by loud banging and loud music from upstairs. Hopefully the music won't be picked up on the mic, but some of the banging might have been already.
Yeah. Construction. They're gonna keep doing it forever.
That's right. Anyway, so I was talking about my favorite scene, I think, in the movie is when Pikachu is running up, like, the spirally, like, staircase-looking thing. Mm-hmm. And he's, like, shocking away the balls as they're trying to get him.
And they work, but it's just so many balls.
It's just so many. He finally tuckers himself out, and he gets into a ball. And Ash jumps and catches the ball and lands in the water. He gets out of the water.
Oh, no. Pikachu falls from exhaustion off the ramp and then is caught by a ball.
That's true, yes.
That makes it all the sadder.
It is. Ash comes out of the water. He's, like, making sure his hat's still on for, like, a second, and then he, like, tries to reach for the ball. I'm like, okay, make sure your hat's there, yeah.
Well, I mean, it's right there, and the ball's, he has to go a little bit, so he's like, I'm gonna swim, and also put my hat on, and then capture the ball. By the way, I just want to point out two things. One, while everyone is avoiding the balls and, like, running away from them, Psyduck gets captured, and Misty's like, give me back Psyduck! And really, Misty? Now you care about Psyduck?
Oh, she just wants something to punch.
Yeah, that. Because, like, if you have Psyduck, you hate it. But if you get Psyduck taken away from you, you want it back.
She's like a baby.
Make up your mind, Misty.
She's like a baby that doesn't know what she wants with her candy.
No. And also, Mewtwo, way back, when he's introducing his cloned starters, says, like most trainers, I too started with Charmander, Squirtle, and Bulbasaur. Fuck you, Mewtwo. Like, barely anyone starts with one of those, let alone all three of them. Not everyone grew up in a rich laboratory where you could just have your way with all three premium starters. Little fucking Billy has to go out in the woods and capture himself a Caterpie. He is the 99%. You're the 1%, Mewtwo. you.
He's like the 1% of the 1%.
Yeah.
The 0.1%.
He is the 0.1%.
So Ash goes with the ball that Mewtwo took with
Back to
Pikachu
present
in it.
time.
Because Pikachu is the only Pokemon that Ash ever cares about.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, no, give me back Pikachu. Okay, Mewtwo also took from you Charizard, Squirtle, and Bulbasaur. You don't give a about them. The only one you cared about is fucking Pikachu. He goes into like the DNA like cloning machines, like takes the ball and like bites the little like arms that are coming down, the mechanical arms that are coming down.
And Team Rocket has been there this entire time.
Yeah.
And when Ash sees them, he's like, I don't have time for your motto, shut up!
Which honestly pretty funny.
Yeah.
That was pretty good. That was pretty great.
And that's where Team Rocket also calls the Scyther Alakazam.
Yeah, it is. That is.
But go on.
So the machine like gets broken because Ash is like with it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He gets out, and all the Pokemon come out of the Pokeballs immediately. The Mewtwo balls, which also is why they are not the best kinds of balls, because as soon as electric power goes out, they'll just come out. So they're not the best balls.
No.
Alright, I don't know what happened, but I just wrote, Mew don't give a Oh, I remember. Okay, so Mewtwo goes back into the stadium, and he's got
all the humans gathered together.
And I guess they were just like, alright,
I guess we're just gonna stand here a while.
Yeah.
Where's Ash? I don't know. We'll wait while he gets back.
While Ash gets back. And they have all the cloned army is with Mewtwo. And then there was some kind of explosion, and Ash walks through the smoke with like the army of the real Pokemon behind him. He's like, F you, Mewtwo, I'm gonna F you up. And he goes to punch him, and I'm like, Ash, you're an idiot.
A Hyper Beam and a Rhyhorn didn't work. So clearly a human punch will.
A human punch, well, I mean, if Jesse had punched, maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe. So
Mewtwo been like, what?
So Ash goes to punch Mewtwo, doesn't do anything. So he goes to punch him again, doesn't do anything. And then he's like, alright, we're going to have all the clones fight the real Pokemon, and they're going to duke it out.
And then Mewtwo has just thrown Ash, out of the arena.
Yep, he's like, F this kid.
Onto the giant statues surrounding it.
And then Mew shows up. Mew is the best part of the movie. Mew is so cute. But Mew don't give a f***.
Mew does not give a f***.
He has run out of them to give. And Mewtwo and Mew have their fight. And honestly, if I'm honest, really disappointing fight.
They're psychic types. Why aren't they trying to, telepathically hack each other's minds? Or, at least use actual psychic moves.
Or any moves. Instead of just,
Bubble force field.
Bubble tackle. Bubble tackle. Bubble tackle.
What was that monkey racing game where the monkeys were all in little plastic balls and you had to?
No, I don't know.
And then it was that monkey ball game.
It's they threw 2 shadow balls each, and then it was bubble tackle for the rest of the movie, and it's ugh. I mean, they're not in the foreground, fortunately.
Drink every time they hit each other with their bubble.
Oh dear God. But even the rest of the Pokemon battles fights aren't that interesting either.
Well, that's
because Mewtwo took away their abilities and powers and stuff.
Because there's this whole argument of Mewtwo's I've created the best Pokemon army possible, but thanks to my advanced cloning and stuff, their abilities are beyond limit. And Mew says, "Oh yeah, but it's all about what's in the heart," according to Meowth. Which Meowth says is a good point. And I'm like, is that a good point, Meowth?
Yeah. It's just
Meowth
kind of
from Team Rocket, do you think that's a good point? That's just emotional babble if you ask me.
It's just the most mundane, emotional babble that you could say. That's all it is. That's all it is.
So Mewtwo's like, fine, then I'll shut off our special abilities with my psychic powers. I'm like, oh, okay, Mewtwo, just let's have a physical fight.
Yeah.
How does that affect the Hitmonlees and Scythers?
They're still fine. They're slower, I guess, but all the Pokemon are just punching, biting each other and headbutting, and it's not great.
And then, brother, my brother, tell me what we're fighting for. Is this world that's so much more?
The cheesiest damn song imaginable is playing throughout this whole thing.
It sounds like it would have been written about the gang wars on the West Coast.
I know.
but
like,
instead for Pokemon.
It's just so over the top.
And so all these Pokemon are like brutal, or like quote unquote brutally hitting each other.
Yeah.
And all the trainers are standing by saying, "Why are they fighting?"
Yeah, they're like this a Pokemon fight, but not like
They're
this.
gaining nothing except experience points.
And they're having like this like conversation for like I don't know how long, 8 minutes.
It feels
5
like
minutes?
8 minutes.
It feels like 8 minutes. It feels so long. And finally, Mew and Mewtwo like stand off.
And Ash is like, Ash is awkwardly like climbing down the statue.
Hmm.
By the way, Pikachu's clone's adorable.
Pikachu's clothes adorable, but it's beating the shit out of Pikachu. With,
And Meow,
like slapping his face like. You've seen the GIF.
Yeah, you've seen the GIF.
Even if you haven't seen even the movie, you've seen the GIF.
But why is Meowth's clone so peaceful compared to all of the other clones?
Yeah, Meowth's clone is just like, yeah, let's not fight.
Let's not fight. I'm gonna be the smart, philosophical one here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why is the cat that's based on a cat that works for Team Rocket, the one that's all about not fighting?
Maybe because they're supposed to be like the polar opposites.
The
or
anti-versions?
Yeah, but
That's
that's
why
not really set up in any other point in the movie, though. Is the problem?
Right, like I could kind of see it with Pikachu's.
Yeah, and maybe even with Mew and Mewtwo, but like it's not set up in a more clear way.
Right.
It's just kind of hinted at.
And even if it is the Meowth himself is also all against fighting too. So.
Yeah, so it doesn't really make sense that way either. So Mew and Mewtwo face off, and they each do like one final beam. And Ash jumps into the middle. And he's like, "Stop it!" And he gets destroyed.
That at least that's how it should have ended.
It should have ended.
Instead, he turns into a statue.
Yeah.
Of stone, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess Mew and Mewtwo both have a petrification attack.
Which they both used on each other at the same time.
At the same time.
And Ash got in the middle of it.
And it just so happens to look exactly like Shadow Ball and whatever ball
Hyper
thing,
beam.
energy ball Mew was using.
So Ash is presumably dead for the second time in the series.
Yeah.
Ash is dead. And Pikachu's like super sad, and all the other Pokemon are like super sad, and they all start crying.
And oh my god, wait a minute. Something about tears,
Yeah.
right? What did they say about tears? They can revive your friends!
Their tears can create
Life.
They're like midichlorians from Star Wars. They have the power to create life.
The Pokemon's tears.
The Pokemon tears are midichlorians. See, they all interconnect. They're all the same universe. Star Wars, Harry Potter, Dragon Ball Z, Pokemon, they're all the same universe.
I would be the best Jedi Wizard Pokemon Master.
Who shoots Kamehameha waves.
Who shoots Kamehameha waves. Well, that's just a natural part of being a Jedi, I think.
So all the tears go into Ash, which thank God they set up with those two shoehorned lines earlier. Otherwise, that would be the cheesiest thing. Yeah.
Even for Pokemon, that would have been some bull.
Oh my god.
All of Ash's 20 Tauros could have come by, all circled around in one giant, like, little reverse circle jerk at the same time, and it would have been twice the size of that. That's what would have happened if they had not put in those two lines. That's why they put in the two lines.
And even then, it's still pretty...
It's still pretty bad, but it could have been worse.
It could have been worse.
It's only one Tauros.
A lot of people really dig that scene, though. They're like, a lot of people I know are like, I cry every time I watch it.
I mean, it is it's a pretty scene.
It is pretty.
It's emotionally compelling.
Yeah. I have so many problems with it, which I don't want to get into it right this second, but like...
Why don't you want to get into it right this second? Oh.
Well, we'll wrap up here in a minute.
We're
almost at the end of the movie.
Okay, that's fair.
So let's power through to the end of this damn thing.
Okay.
And then Mewtwo's like, "Oh, you guys really care for Ash," and Ash like sacrificed himself. He didn't know Ash's name. This guy sacrificed himself to save the Pokemon.
who seems to have not knowing how to evolve his Pokemon.
So Mewtwo's like, "Well,
it's not what you do with your birth; it's what you do with your life."
Yeah. which is a good quote. I see that. I've seen that quote before, and like greatest quotes from the least likely sources.
I think Herman Cain quoted Mewtwo once, and Jon Stewart made fun of him for it. It was kind of great.
That is pretty great. So, but it's good. It's a genuinely really good quote. So Mewtwo takes all of his like cloned Pokemon, and they like go off into the sunset. But right before he like leaves, he like
wipes everyone's memories.
He takes away all their memories. He's a powerful Pokemon if he can do all that.
He is a legendary psychic Pokemon.
And he has the power to distort time and space and send all the trainers back. So when they were still in the harbor while the storm was happening,
he probably met up with Palkia and Dial again and was like, "Hey, yo, guys, can I
you do me a favor? Yeah, like I'll help you out one day with something if you like, but I need this done.
I need this done." But and then Palkia and Dial are like, "Rawr!" So then they get teleported back, and then we see the exact same scene where Jenny is stopping them from going to the island, and then they say, "And even if you go out there," and then Nurse Joy shows up and says, the Pokemon Center is open, and I haven't been gone for the past month.
No one questions.
Don't ask about it.
No one questions the fact that she's there now. They're just like, okay. Yeah, that's a good point.
I guess you've always been here.
We've always been here.
I guess we didn't need to shut down the Pokemon Center when one employee was missing.
And Ash and Misty and Brock are like, hey, did something happen? I don't know.
Like, why are we here?
Why are we here?
Misty's like, I guess we're here just because we're here. Shut up, Misty. Shut up. I don't need your puns, and I don't need your philosophy. I just don't like Misty. I don't like Misty. Misty to me is, in Pokemon, is like Rachel in Friends. I hate Rachel.
Nick hates Rachel and Friends.
How are you a grown-ass woman, and you've had a baby for a year, and you've never had to change its diaper?
Oh, that's shitty.
Yeah.
That's shit.
Yeah.
That's so they go outside. Ash, Misty, and Brock go outside. The storm just ends.
Officer
Jenny's like, it's a miracle! And it's like, well, no, it's just, the storm's over.
Like, you live in the world of Pokemon. Like, Pokemon are using Sunny Day and Rain Dance all the time.
It's like, Officer Jenny, stop making this, like, small rainstorm out to more than what it is. Like,
but it's really real, guys!
But it's
That's
like the worst storm ever! No, it's not. It's not even close. It's not even like top 100, Officer Jenny. Like, it's not bad.
It's not.
Like, you can
Wait till you
go
see
outside.
a Kyogre. Wait till you see a Primal Kyogre.
Yeah, like, Officer Jenny, you can go outside, like, and be fine. This is not the worst storm of all time. It's not even close.
No.
You're fine.
There's no debris.
just chill out. Just chill out, woman. Chill out. It's just rain. So anyway.
So, they go out, and
Ash sees a glimpse of Mew. Misty and Brock were like, I don't see anything, and Ash is like,
I saw a really rare Pokemon once.
And now I just did again.
And Misty's like, no, you didn't. And Brock's like, maybe you did. And then they go off into the sunset, and the movie is over, and then we hear, like, 4 ballads.
No, it was more. It was more like 6.
No, 4 ballads and, like, 3 or 2, like, pop songs.
Yeah. Yeah, and what was the last one that was just, like, really random?
Don't say you love me. Don't say you love me if you don't. I don't know how words, but
these credits were like so f***ing nuts because they kept like the Japanese. I don't know if maybe like the English dub, like the official dub, is maybe a little bit has like more American credits.
It does.
I assume so
because we were watching the longer version.
We were watching the longer version where they just kind of tacked a bunch of songs at the end of like the Japanese like credit scenes where they're like just walking around and sleeping and. Which, you know, is nice, but it's like these weird songs are playing over, and it's
like none
jarring.
of these songs made sense. I owned
Not
the soundtrack when I was a kid on cassette tape, and the only ones that made sense were the "Catch Me If You Can" song, because Pokemon, a Weird Al Yankovic Pokemon.
That was in the soundtrack,
and I think so.
It's weird.
And at the time, My Brother song made sense to me because they were clones fighting each other. So, you can't really get closer to brothers than clones.
Yeah, that's true. Alright, so that was the whole movie. I really don't know how to feel about it sometimes, to be honest. I've seen it twice in the last 2 days. Like, it's such a mixed bag of so many things.
I'm gonna give it a I'm gonna give it the baseline again. I'm gonna give it a 3.
Are you?
Because I enjoy it. I enjoy watching it. Nothing about it really agitates me that much.
Mm-hmm.
It has a lot to improve upon.
Yes.
Like its Pokemon naming errors, and
I remember
it can be prettier. I've seen movies that have better animation.
Yeah, I have too.
Like, I've seen Pokemon movies that have better animation.
The only other Pokemon movie I've seen is Pokemon 2000 with like Lugia and.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, that one I remember. I like it. I find it much more memorable, and I like the animation. I remember as being much better, and I remember the story much better. Like, there's much more of a story in that.
Like,
one.
they actually travel in that story.
Yeah.
And Mewtwo in this one, they're only in the one location.
Yeah, it feels very like stagnant. The plot doesn't really go anywhere for a really long time. As a movie, I think I would give it a much lower rating.
But as a Pokemon,
But as a Pokemon movie about based on the show, like as a piece of Pokemon media, I would rank it a little bit higher. As a movie, it's not very good.
As a movie, it's pretty bad.
It's pretty awful. Like, it's not accessible if you're not into Pokemon at all. Like, if you don't know anything about Pokemon, you will be so lost.
My mom fell asleep.
I bet.
But then her coworker said, "Oh no, it's actually really like it had a good meaning and moral and stuff."
And that's the thing too, is because while very forced, the message that they are trying to give is a good message.
It just
like,
also goes completely against the actual Pokemon games.
Exactly, and that's another thing is because like...
And they forget the message anyway.
They forget the message anyway, so what does it matter, you know? At the same time, there's some really good animation in this movie.
Really good animation, really good Pokemon battles.
Really good, some really good Pokemon battles. At the same time, there's also Mewtwo versus Mew, which is just bubble tackle.
Mm-hmm.
And also, the story doesn't really go anywhere for a really long time, but like the meat of the story, like what the story is about with like the clones and being true to yourself and all that kind of crap, like I kind of dig it, you know?
Yeah.
So there's just so many different things happening in this thing that when I look at it from like the perspective of someone who's like really into Pokemon, like it's so hard for me to give it a score. So I think
what? You convinced me. I'm changing mine to a 2.5.
A 2.5. You know what? That's the one I think I'm gonna give it myself is 2.5.
The straight up middle.
Just the straight up middle. And if you're like really into it, because I know a lot of people really love this movie, and that's like the only one I ever see even like memes about or anything. Mm-hmm. That's great. Like awesome. Go for it. But I also think that like the fact that it's so inaccessible to people who aren't into Pokemon, it does it such a great disservice. Because like that could be a really good way to get more people into Pokemon and get more like mainstream accepted than I think Pokemon is.
Well, how do you make a Pokemon movie for people who aren't into Pokemon?
Well, how do you make a Harry Potter movie for people who aren't like devoted to like the Harry Potter books, but they managed to do it?
Well, that's because they're like direct.
Yeah, they're direct translations,
yeah.
But like I do think it's possible. I just don't think they did a particularly good job here.
Coincidentally, I do think the movie coming out in Japan this year, the 20th anniversary of the anime, is an adaptation of Ash's First Journey.
Like the Dragon Ball, the early Dragon Ball movies, which were like Path to Power, and I think there's at least one or two other ones that are exactly like the first season of Dragon Ball that they turned into a movie.
Right.
And some of those are really good, and some of those are really bad. Like, Path to Power is really good.
But I think they're also throwing in Marshadow in it, too.
Yeah.
So, it's going to be
different. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So, Marshadow's also in it, and Ho-Oh is more in it than the first episode.
So, this movie is, in some ways, it's entertaining, but mostly because I really like Pokemon, and I also kind of laugh at it as much, if not more than I'm like laughing with it, if that makes sense. So.
I am excited for the drinking game.
I am too.
By the way, if you want to play a drinking game along with us, we're gonna post up a separate video for that that you could probably play along to.
Yeah, it'd be fun. If you're over the age of 21. If you're not over the age of 21, we do not endorse
drinking.
in
the United States. If
in the United States.
You're in Canada or really anywhere else that allows drinking and you're 18 or whatever the drinking age is. Go ahead. If the drinking age is 12, go ahead and drink. 13-year-olds.
Binge. Drink all the alcohols.
Steal it from your parents' cabinet.
Drink it straight. Straight vodka. Drink it like it's water.
That would hurt after a
We
while.
are bad people.
No, learn.
Any final thoughts about the movie, though?
About the movie?
Yeah. Do you think it holds up well 20 years later, by the way?
It does hold up. Like, a lot of movies age badly.
The music doesn't age well.
The
like,
music...
the pop songs do not age well at
but
all.
that's... if we watched it in Japanese, we probably wouldn't have noticed at all.
Exactly.
But the actual animation and the story...
Yeah.
The only thing that I noticed did not age was that Dexter called Snubble a normal type. And I'm like, you, it's a fairy type.
Well, that was a previous short.
Yeah, but I mean, like, they're connected.
I also think, like, when you look at the logic of Mewtwo wanting, like, really strong trainers, but, like, these are the trainers he picks, and not, like, Lance or
Steven,
like,
or Cynthia.
Maybe if this movie had been about someone other than Ash, it probably would have been even better. Like, if you had, like, actual Pokemon masters.
I would watch the Giovanni trying to capture Mewtwo.
Or, or that, or, like...
Actually, I think that is Mewtwo Returns. Giovanni's trying to get Mewtwo, but more evil.
Then we will review that one at a much later date.
Oh, yeah, because that doesn't come out till 2000.
Yeah, and right now we're in 98 still.
Chronologically, though, that happens right after.
Yeah, chronologically it occurs right after this movie, but I want us to review these in, like, in order they were released.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Alright, moving on. Since we don't cover legendary Pokemon during our normal Pokemon of the Days,
we use the movies.
We use the movies, and we talk about the legendary Pokemon used in the movies. And in this case, we have 2. I think sometimes we'll have a lot more than 2. But
sometimes we'll have 4.
Sometimes we'll have 4.
Sometimes we'll have 8.
Really?
The Hoopa movie brings in a whole lot of Pokemon.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, in the meantime, let's just talk about the 2.
We got a while to the Hoopa movie.
We got 2 in this one, so let's just talk about the 2 in this one. Mew and Mewtwo.
Oh, wait, do we want to go chronological order or, like, Pokedex order?
Let's flip a coin.
Tails Mew, heads Mewtwo?
Yeah, Tails Mew, heads Mewtwo first.
Whoop!
Wow, you are really bad at flipping coins.
It's a penny, okay? You always flip quarters. Damn it. Oh, there
Did you lose it? What was it?
Tails.
Tails
Mew. Tails Mew, heads Mewtwo.
Right, Tails Mew.
Because right, Mewtwo's the one that talks.
Mew first.
Okay, so...
That makes sense. I'm glad you put it that way.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
So Mew is the original, the unmistakable first mythical Pokemon. The one that eluded many a trainer for many a years until we actually looked it up on the internet when the internet finally became an official source and found out how to do the glitch Mew thing in Pokemon Blue. But even then, we couldn't bring it out to Gen 3 games, so I didn't get my first Mew till, like, what, 2 years ago?
Really?
Well, I think I had another Mew, but that game glitched out.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
I love Mew. I actually, the Kanto legendaries are all probably some of my favorite legendaries. Because, like, I feel like back in Generation 1, and I don't like Gen 1ers, but this is one thing that, like, I will Gen 1 about.
Mm-hmm.
Is that, and I feel like back in Generation 1, the legendaries felt more legendary to me because there were fewer of them. So, like, there was more of a myth behind the Mew and the Mewtwo and all that kind of stuff, and even the legendary birds.
I mean, if we're going by actual technical definitions, though, quantity of legends doesn't remove the valor of the legends.
No, but it made them more special to me, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you spend so much time looking for Mewtwo, and Mew you couldn't get.
Nah.
And actually, I did, I had an older cousin who played Pokemon with me, and he got the Game Shark, and he glitched the Mew into his game, and he knew Mew was like the most powerful Pokemon ever, and he glitched it, and it was like a level 5 Mew, and he goes up to he's like, I'm gonna take this into the Elite Four, and you're gonna watch, this thing is gonna beat all of them,
and it doesn't,
and it did not,
because it's nose pound,
because it had no moves, and it's level 5. It was so funny. It was so great. He's like, but this is supposed to be a really powerful Pokemon. I'm like, it's level 5, man.
It's level 5. They're 10 times your level.
Yeah, like, you gotta train it up a little bit. I'm not an idiot. But I like Mew a lot.
It's a little cat embryo.
Little cat embryo thing is great. I love that it can learn every TM.
That's just its thing, yeah.
That's great.
It has every Pokemon's DNA.
Yeah.
Therefore, it can learn every TM, every move, thing that if like you bring it to a move tutor, he's gonna be like, oh, okay, yeah, I can teach you that.
Yeah, I can teach you anything. That's a Mew.
There was a special move tutor in Pokemon XD, Gale of Darkness, or Coliseum, one of those two. That was like, hey, if you bring me a Mew, I will fucking teach it all the fucking shit that you want. And he had like a whole list of moves that were for Mew only.
Wow.
Yeah.
So your Mew, I'm looking over your shoulder right now.
Oh, yeah.
Your Mew has Nasty Plot, Transform, Roost, and Psychic.
Roost.
I like that. I like that moveset.
Yeah. Because Nasty Plot and Psychic, because I'm going to give it the Z Crystal too, so it can do its whole Z move.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Mew has its own signature Z move. I don't know what it's called, but it's basically a really powerful Psychic, and it makes the area a Psychic terrain.
Nice.
Roost to recover. And then transform if it's like, oh, you're a special wall.
Now I am too.
And this battle will take forever.
There's so many different combinations that you can use with Mew. And since his base stats are all really good, but all like perfectly even.
Jack of all trades.
Jack of all trades. Kind of a master of none, but...
Yeah.
But
compared
like,
to the other legendaries especially.
Yeah, but like, it still has a really good niche. You can use it, like, it can be almost anything you want it to be. If you want it to be a wall, it can be a wall. If you want it to be a sweeper, it can be a sweeper. If you want it to be a setup, support, whatever.
If
like,
you want it to be a it could be a
That's right. Just be like Thunder Wave and Headbutt. And that's all I'm going to use. Thunder Wave and
Headbutt.
Thunder Wave and Headbutt. You.
This one's docile. Preferably I'd want it modest or timid.
Maybe Jolly. It can be a physical one.
I mean, but this one I have that you read
see.
moves over. Yeah. But yeah, Jolly if I were going to do the physical version.
I've seen some really kick-ass physical sets from you. With like Swords Dance and...
I bet.
Pretty much anything else after that, so...
Swords Dance and Psycho Cut and...
Zen Headbutt, whatever. Giga Impact, Explosion, hell.
Explosion!
Yeah, I mean, it's just so versatile.
He's
great.
It's really cute.
Yep.
Yeah, that's really all I have to say about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I rate it. I rate it on a special legendary scale. I rate it 2.5.
We're not rating the Pokemon.
I'm rating them.
We're not.
You can do whatever you want, but I'm rating them.
Fine.
Nikon rates Mew 2.5.
Mewtwo.
Mewtwo.
More powerful, faster, not quite as high in defenses, but higher base stat total, I believe.
High by 70 points, yeah.
By 70.
It's I think the only stat that is lower is its defense.
Let me look that up really quick.
Its defense is like 85, and everything else is above 100.
Because Mews are 90 all the way around, right?
Mews are 100 all the way around.
100 all the way around. Holy crap.
Because its base stat total 600.
Mewtwo's defense and special defense are both a little bit lower. HP marginally higher, attack marginally higher, and then speed and special attack much higher.
Much higher?
Much higher.
Like what, 150 and 130?
154 and 130. 154 special attack, 130 speed, 110 attack.
Damn, Mewtwo, why are you so powerful?
Yeah,
so
facing tough. Mewtwo in Generation 1 was a bitch. In Generation 2 as well.
It's
Generation 1. You
didn't have Pokemon battles in Generation 1. You had Mewtwo battles
Pretty
in Generation
much, yeah.
1.
That's all you needed.
Amnesia, Blizzard, and Thunderbolt.
Yeah.
And Psychic.
And nothing could oppose you, really. There were no defenses. There were no weaknesses. Like, maybe Chansey. To just, like, sit there and be a wall. Or Slowbro, but that's all you got. On
Slowbro, you have Thunderbolt.
Yeah. Mewtwo has stayed, and Mewtwo's been one of the strongest Pokemon ever since Generation 1.
Yeah.
It's just so powerful.
And when they had introduced, Arceus and then Black and White Kyurem, you know what Mewtwo did? It said, you, I'm going to Mega Evolve into 2 separate Mega Evolutions.
And its Mega Evolutions are even more powerful. Its defenses matching, both of its defenses matching Mew at last, and its offensive stats are both really high. It's
Mega Mewtwo's Y defense is kind of low, isn't it?
Oh yes, that's true. Its defense stat is 70 for Mega Mewtwo Y. For Mega Mewtwo X, they're both 100. Its special attack and speed do not change. Interestingly.
For Mega Mewtwo X, right?
Yeah.
Because it's all about physical.
Its attack goes up to 190. Because, good God. And it gains a fighting type.
Yeah. And then Mega Mewtwo Y special attack goes up to
194.
So, and I think doesn't
A
Mega
little bit
Mewtwo have
faster.
the highest attack and special attack
Yeah.
in each of its Mega forms?
Yeah. I think maybe they're. I'll fact check this later, but I think they're equally matched by something else.
Probably Deoxys attack or
Probably.
or Heracross. Mega
Heracross, I think.
Heracross.
Yeah. So all around, just a really powerful Pokemon. Not as much of a move variety as Mew. I mean,
It makes sense. It's
It
all
makes
about
sense,
aggression
yeah.
and not the ancestor of all Pokemon.
exactly. But you can still like teach Mewtwo almost anything. Like, it even gets like Rock Slide.
It knows like all.
anything.
It can learn like all the types, can't it?
I think it gets a move of each type except in this generation, Dragon.
No dragon types.
Yeah. We'll probably get some more when we get move tutors in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon.
I want
would
to
be
see a
my
Mega
guess.
Mewtwo Z and it's Psychic
Mewtwo
Dragon.
Z. Psychic Dragon, oh my god.
That'd be sweet.
It's horrifying. So you like Mewtwo? Is Mewtwo
I
cool?
do like Mewtwo's the guy Frieza of Pokemon.
Yeah, it really is. I like it. I like its concept. I like its design.
I like and like Mewtwo as the character. Let's talk about Mewtwo as the character in Pokemon.
In the movie?
Yeah, because we talked about Mew.
Yeah.
And it's cute. Mewtwo's a brooding, philosophical megalomaniac. Because, like, he's like, no, only clones will exist. I am a clone, therefore nothing else can exist. But that's if you watch the movie without that 10-minute intro. Which is Mewtwo witnessing his childhood friend, his first friend, dying in front of him. It shocks him. It makes him tragic. So therefore he lashes out against the world. Mewtwo's emotional. If you just give him like a hug, I'm sure he'll be a nice guy.
I don't know. I always found him to be kind of like basic movie villain, but
Yeah,
I mean, he's fun. He's entertaining.
it's fun.
He's entertaining. He feels like a threat, and he felt like a threat in the games. And
He does feel like a threat in the games.
Oh my god, Generation 1, when you go to... If you don't have a Master Ball with you in Generation 1 to go catch him, you are going to spend hours trying to catch that mother.
I did not have a Master Ball when I went up to face him. I foolishly used it on a Poliwhirl that I found at level 40. Because I was like, wow, a Poliwhirl, and I'm on my way to the Elite Four. I should catch this. Master Ball will help.
Oh god.
Completely forgot or did not even know about Mewtwo. I forget which one it was. And I was like, oh, I'm just going to throw Ultra Balls at it. Fantastic.
And Mewtwo's like, psychic.
Actually, my Blastoise was pretty high leveled. So he was able to survive the Psychic onslaught. And so I caught him.
Well, good. That's good.
Thank you.
But Mewtwo's a cool Pokemon.
He is. So my generic Mewtwo that I'll probably make a Mega Mewtwo Y. Scythe Strike, Shadow Ball, Aura Sphere, and Flamethrower.
It's pretty much what mine knows, actually.
Yeah.
I have another Mewtwo that's... Its IVs are atrocious, so I don't even really use it.
I mean, you could use the gold bottle cap to...
I could, but I got one already, so...
Oh my god, actually this Mewtwo's IVs are atrocious.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, like... Decent special attack, HP, attack, and defense. Fantastic speed, and very good special defense.
Well, so you got very good special defense.
Yeah, this other
That'll be
Mewtwo's
useful.
better. It's got the best speed, special defense, and attack. Then I have one more Mewtwo that I put in my fighting. Oh yeah, because it's got the best HP, attack, and defense.
Nice.
So
Anything else about Mewtwo?
I have yet to raise a Mega Mewtwo X.
I've had both Mega Mewtwo's. They're both pretty awesome.
I don't know what moves I would teach it yet. Probably some Psycho Cut if it's able to, or send Headbutt, and then a fighting move, and then
Earthquake.
Earthquake.
Earthquake is good with it.
And
Like Rock Slide or
Recover.
something.
Maybe.
Recover is a great move for Mewtwo.
oh yeah.
It's a great move for Mewtwo. Alright. Moving on. Nick, you had one thing you wanted to talk about.
Oh yeah. So in this
Well,
time,
like 4 things.
in this timeline, E3 has happened, and right before E3, the Pokemon Company had a little direct that revealed a bunch of stuff happening. 3 things about 3 things. First, I want to make an amendum. How do you pronounce that word?
Addendum. Amendment.
It's not an amendment because that's like to add to a bill or something.
Okay, so I
want to make a correction.
A previous statement.
There we go. I'm retracting the previous statement. So I talked about Magikarp jump last week, and I had said my Magikarp was at 100 meters. It was at 50 meters at the time, because now it's at 100 meters. Yeah. And so
at least you're honest.
They released a patch, so now I have a gray Magikarp.
Nice.
And you can also get a brown one, and it can look like a tiger. And it's cool. But okay, that was the addendum. So the actual Pokemon news. First, Pokémon Tournament is getting a port for the Switch. Pokémon Tournament DX. The DX is for Deluxe. So we're finally getting all of the Japanese arcade fighters.
Nice.
So like Caesar, Darkrai, Empoleon, Croagunk, and then Decidueye as a fighter.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I like Decidueye.
Decidueye is replacing the little random selector in the character roster. So that's happening. It also comes with a lot of modes. There's split screen in it, in case you're wondering how that's going to work with the Switch. And then right after the Switch trailer was a little Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon teaser trailer. Looks like Solgaleo and Lunala have some new forms going on, new shenanigans. Probably fused with Necrozma for some reason. Looks more like armor than it does a fusion.
I'm so excited for Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon.
And they say it's an alternate telling of Sun and Moon. So I don't know what that means, because we also see the character get out of his house and all the flowers and bushes have grown. So it shows that time has passed. But the wording's confusing. It's off leading. And what else? And Gold and Silver are getting a release on the 3DS.
I am super excited for, because I haven't played the original Gold and Silver games since the batteries went out on the old ones.
It's been a little bit now, hasn't it?
I know. I am so excited, because the Gold and Silver games were the original. Those two games they're still among my very favorite Pokemon games of all time.
My only critique is that Crystal is not coming out with them. And I loved Crystal.
Maybe they just didn't want to, because Gold and Silver are so, similar, they didn't want to have to, do a whole other thing for... But yet they're...
Crystal's,
Yellow.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe because they're bigger games. I don't know.
I think, because Crystal has, actual story parts that are different. And Yellow is just, hey,
Pikachu.
Here's the 3 starters and the Pikachu.
Yeah. And different, sprites and everything. I don't know.
The different well, yeah, but same with Gold and... Crystal just uses sprites from Gold and Silver.
I don't know.
No,
all the time. Sometimes they have a third different one.
Oh.
But I'm super excited for that. That's not going to be until September. I'm super excited for Ultra Moon and Ultra Sun.
That one's November. And then Pokken is, I think, fall as well. Or if not, then
I thought you said
summer.
June something. Or
It
maybe
might
July?
be July.
Maybe
I think
July.
it's July. It's probably July.
All right. Anything else, Nick?
Just
excited about all this stuff that's gonna happen.
I'm excited about all the stuff that's gonna happen. I hope Mega Evolution or something comes back in it, because you see the little trainer twist his Z ring in 90 degrees, and then a bunch of energy comes out. Looks like it would be either a fancy ass Z move or Mega Evolution. I want a Mega.
Mega Decidueye.
I want a Mega. Why can't I remember?
Incineroar.
Incineroar. Yeah. I want a Mega Incineroar. I want to see a Mega Millionaire.
It's Incineroar. It's the exact same Pokemon. It just has one of the cigarettes with a long holder on it.
Exactly.
And a monocle.
Because I named my Incineroar Millionaire.
Nice.
Because Steven Universe.
Alright, so I think that's everything.
That's everything.
That's everything for this podcast. Thanks for listening in again.
And remember, that's not what you do with... It's not what you do with the circumstances of your birth. It's what you do with them that matter.
You completely messed up that quote.
It's not what you do with your birth. It's what you do with the circumstances. It's not It's not what you do with your birth. It's what you do with your psychic powers.
Bye-bye.
Bye! I'm gonna murder you. Yes, that's right. Ha ha!